Every mission reaches a critical point of transition. Not because the mission has been accomplished, but because what's been built now needs a new season of leadership to nurture and foster even greater growth and impact. The moments that dictate this eventual change aren't dramatic. They don't announce themselves. They show up over time when responsibility is assumed, before anyone stops to name it.
Previously, one of the times that I was the closest to kind of considering another opportunity was because I had a little bit of a back injury and I was out of the office for at least 2 months. And I remember when I came back, things were running so well, almost better, because they were under Jessica's helm.
That kind of responsibility forms through patterns of work, judgment, and follow-through. To understand how leadership took shape here, you have to look at how the work was carried long before a title changed.
When Jessica was first hired as a part-time prayer vigil coordinator, she immediately went above and beyond to make it the most incredible and amazing prayer vigil we'd ever had, getting more people involved.
As more people become involved, the mission begins to scale. The vision that once felt contained starts requiring coordination, consistency, and discernment. Responsibilities overlap, reshaping both the role and the person inside it.
Jessica has been my number 2 right hand for the last 7 years since she started as a part-time visual coordinator, and has helped to realize all of the crazy ideas and visions that I have always just imagined and hoped that someday might, God might make happen. And through her loyalty and dedication and just incredible drive and work ethic, the Southwest Coalition and all of our various initiatives would not exist today if it was not for Jessica.
What happens in one aspect of the ministry begins to affect everything else, and systems rely on people who understand how everything connects. Long before leadership is named, the work itself begins shaping who can carry it.
One thing I really want people to know is that, as my president for the last 7 years, when I talked to our board of directors about this new opportunity and transitioning out, it didn't just we were very intentional about not just this falling on Jessica's lap by default because she was second in line. We spent several months with a lot of prayer, a lot of discernment, interviews of other candidates, external candidates, and we wanted to do that because we wanted to make sure it was really the right person for the right seat.
While those conversations were happening, the work continued. Leadership was still required. Plans still moved forward. Decisions still mattered.
And and our board has absolute trust and confidence in Jessica because she knows the vision and the heart of this better than anybody else. She knows the humble beginnings of this starting as a prayer vigil on the sidewalk, and she's seen the growth over the years. So this is an opportunity for the mission, and she's committed to serving that and serving Christ through serving others through the mission of this organization.
Knowing how the vision began matters when deciding how it should grow. Growth introduces questions of scale, structure, and sustainability, questions that shape the next season of leadership.
Our goal is to have our own, operating our own full birth center downstairs of our Guiding Star office in El Paso, and looking into what we need to create that same thing in Las Cruces. I would love the coalition to have every one of our entities systemized. I want to make sure that we have everything in order because I do believe that the Southwest Coalition is going to be something that other organizations want to emulate. Charting the new path forward, I think I'm super excited about because we have discussed, maybe 5 guiding stars in the next 10 years. I think it's just going to be a continual growth the way that we've seen. I don't see there being necessarily this radical shift. I definitely want to honor everything that you've started here, Mark, and I know how much time you spent, and I'll be staying on top of the happenings, what's going on, not only on a local level, but on a national level. And my goal is to continue to do that, to bring that awareness and to be one of the very first ones that's out there on the sidewalk, that's there at the Senate, going out and lobbying against any laws that are trying to be passed. So I think that that would definitely be a beautiful way to honor, and not only that, but to continue to grow and to stay ahead of the game.
At a certain point, shared responsibility becomes clearer responsibility. The work remains, the weight changes.
Knowing that, she has had my full and complete trust. There's been times where, I've been focused on certain projects or working with other organizations, sometimes for months at a time. It's first and foremost her humility and her faith and her trust in God. My personal faith and my personal prayer life has improved by the example that Jessica has set and in being a partner in all of this.
That kind of trust doesn't require explanation. It demonstrates itself in how the work has already been carried.
What excites me the most about stepping into my new role as CEO is that Mark has laid a very clear foundation of what God put in his heart and where this movement needs to go and how it needs to grow, and even in the speed that it needs to grow in. So because I think we've spent, the last 7 years with Mark drilling it into my head and into my heart of what God is telling us that we need to see the end of abortion and to change the culture of life, I think creating that medical system, that true women's health care, and in introducing it in a very loving and informative way, I think that because I have that clarity and like Mark said, I've always had that drive to see everything that Mark would say, Jessica, this is a great idea. I think we should open the maternity home. And I would get on, my heart would be on fire because he's such a great galvanizer. So I think we kind of continue in that role. Even though Mark is moving many, many miles away, I feel that the dynamic between us is still going to continue.
Leadership eventually changes form. What has been learned through years of work is no longer shared in conversation. It's held in decisions. The distance disappears. The margin for error narrows. The mission asks more of the one carrying it. And now the vision continues, shaped by what has been built, guided by clear conviction, with the mission always in view. Jessica steps into that stewardship, not to carry it alone, but to carry it forward.